Punk was on Smackdown Friday night, and he gave us the promo that we were expecting on the Raw after Survivor Series. He clearly heard the criticism, and he took it personally. He even acknowledged it during the promo that the CM Punk we saw on Raw wasn't the CM Punk that we all wanted to see, so tonight we were going to get spicy CM Punk. He said the good news is that it was the top of the 9 o'clock hour, and not the end of the show, which means he's not going to get his time cut, which is what happened in his first promo. There was a Randy Orton-Dominic Mysterio match that ran long, and so they cut Punk's time because they have a hard stop at 11 p.m. on Mondays. He said Adam Pearce is trying to sign him to Monday Night Raw, and the crowd booed. Do you want to see me sign to Friday Night SmackDown to be exclusive to SmackDown? And they all cheered. Do you want me to throw 29 other superstars over the top rope, climb these turnbuckles, point at a sign, and main event WrestleMania? And again, they all cheered, enchanted his name. Do you want me to talk about Cody Rhodes? Oh, I could tell you some stories. Or do you want me to talk about somebody who's not here, somebody who's never here? Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief, I acknowledge you. Congrats on all of your success. Don't forget who the OG Paul Heyman guy is. Don't forget that he was my wise man first. Now he says Roman might not be here, but his cousins are. Solo, big tough son of a gun that I don't know, but I know Jimmy Uso. There are things that, he has to wrestle with this decision. Do I want to go to Raw and hang out with Jey Uso, or do I want to stay here on SmackDown and scrap with Jimmy? But if I scrap with Jimmy, he's got a lot of cousins. So if he does, I'm going to need backup. Can I trust a guy that I've got history with who's got voices in his head? Can I get along with Randy Orton? Right? I'm sure I could get along with LA Knight. Then he brought up Kevin Owens. Said, can he tag with Kevin Owens? Right? Maybe he could fight Kevin Owens. Kevin's a little bit prickly. They're probably too much alike. He said he doesn't know who would feel comfortable working with somebody who just randomly punches people in the face backstage. I mean, it's 2023, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just be doing stuff like that. That's insane. Now, that didn't get the reaction that you would expect. Those people did not pick up on the double meaning there, but it did get a lot of people talking online, as you would expect. And it worked well for this reason, too, because Kevin Owens did punch 2 people in the face in a segment backstage. He punched Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. So the way that he weaved that into something that actually happened on the show, even though you and I know what he was really referring to and who that was addressed to, I will say that was very clever. He said everybody has welcomed him back with open arms, except for that one guy, because there's always one bad apple that spoils the bunch. But he's not going to put any stock into what he has to say because he's not even the man in his own household. And the fans started to chant Seth's song, and Punk said that's about all he has is that song. Go ahead, keep it up. And so they did. They kept singing. He said, we're going to find out where he signs on Monday night. He's here tonight to listen to Nick Aldis. Over the weekend, he said he had a phone call scheduled with Shawn Michaels to talk about NXT. And Monday night in Cleveland, he will listen to what Adam Pearce has to say. Almost 10 years to the day in the same city that he walked out on this place in. It was Cleveland, Ohio. He called himself the monkey wrench in everyone's future plans and goals. Everybody wants to talk about finishing their story. He's back to finish what he started. And Monday night, he puts pen to paper and begins his journey of finishing his story. And that means one thing: main eventing WrestleMania. That's the money promo right there. If you're going to bring back CM Punk, and you're going to bring him back this time of year, at Survivor Series, heading into Royal Rumble season, that's the money promo. It covered a lot of ground. It accomplished a bunch of things, too. He gave us a reason to tune into Raw tomorrow night by promising to make his decision on which brand he intends to sign with. And he even threw NXT in there as a possibility. I mean, what the hell? Why not give them some rub, too? Punk actually showed up at last night's show, NXT Deadline. He showed up to take a selfie in the ring with Shawn Michaels in his pink Bret Hart hoodie. They pitched the idea to him on Friday, apparently. He said he was up for it, so the whole, oh, I missed my flight, so I decided to come to Bridgeport thing was just part of the story. They teased it all day on Saturday on social media, and he posted a picture on Instagram of him, you know, in Stamford, standing by the WWE logo. Oh, I'm in Connecticut, I missed my flight. So they teased it all day, but they never actually told you he was going to be on the show. They stopped short of formally announcing him for Deadline. You had to tune in to find out, and that was the whole point of this, right? Nobody actually believes that he is signing with NXT. Not even Shawn Michaels believes that he's going to sign with NXT, but they wanted to get more people to tune into the show. And it was strange to see him out there in an NXT ring on a Saturday night opposite Collision, which up until a few months ago was considered his show. It just highlights what a weird year this has been. But back to SmackDown, he name-dropped a bunch of people, something else he didn't really do in his first promo. He talked about Roman Reigns. He talked about Cody Rhodes. He mentioned Kevin Owens. He mentioned Seth Rollins without actually bringing up his name, but he laid the foundation for that match down the road. But he laid the foundation for a match with Roman Reigns, and that is your SummerSlam main event next year. They can get 2 matches out of it. You do the first one at SummerSlam. By the time they do the second one, Roman Reigns could be the babyface and Punk could be the heel. He could have Paul Heyman in his corner again. That could be your WrestleMania main event in 2025. He took a couple of digs at Seth Rollins. That escalates things between the two of them. That's heading into the 2024 WrestleMania. I'm already booking 2025. We haven't even gotten to 2024 yet. That's assuming Punk is on his best behavior and doesn't implode before then. There's a long ways to go between now and WrestleMania 41. But he made it clear in this promo that his story is to win the Royal Rumble and headline WrestleMania for the first time, which is exactly what I said he should have done in his first promo. This is why I'm back, to win the Royal Rumble and to headline WrestleMania. And you look at the top of the roster in WWE right now, it's very top-heavy. WWE is loaded with top babyfaces right now. And not just top babyfaces, but over babyfaces. You've got CM Punk, who was always going to do well out of the gate if he ever came back. I mean, whatever you think of CM Punk, if CM Punk was ever going to come back to WWE, he's been gone for over 10 years, right? Or almost. Oh, I guess next month technically will be 10 years, but he's been gone for a decade. I would have been shocked if he wasn't over when he came back. So you got CM Punk, you got Cody Rhodes, you've got Randy Orton just came back, Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I'd throw Bobby Lashley on there too. Even though he's supposed to be a heel, the audience loves him every time he goes out there. It's been a long time since WWE has had that sort of power at the top of their lineup, at the top of the card, and they're over with the audience. Now, the heel side is a lot lighter. They have Roman Reigns, but only when he's actually around. I could say the same thing for Logan Paul. You have Drew McIntyre. You have Gunther. And you've got the Judgment Day. And look, Dominic gets incredible heat. I wouldn't call him a top guy yet, although I think he'll get there. He's probably worked more matches than anybody else on that roster this year. If you count up all the I haven't done this yet, but if you count up all the matches that he has had between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and a lot of those were main events with the Judgment Day, I'm willing to bet he's got more matches than just about anybody else this year. So he's only going to continue to get better. But they are very face-heavy right now, even though I would still consider WWE to be a quote-unquote heel territory, to borrow an old phrase. Very, very top-heavy when it comes to babyfaces at the top of the card. Now, we've had Roman Reigns on top for champion for over 3 years. You've had Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion for 18 months. But they're loaded on the other side, and I think that's going to make for a great Royal Rumble match. Especially if we get some of those names in there at the very end. It could be the most unpredictable finish to a Royal Rumble that we have had in years. I mean, imagine if it comes down to Cody Rhodes on one side of the ring and CM Punk on the other. That's a dangerous game because you can't be sure how the fans are going to react. Is Cody going to get booed in that scenario because they want Punk to win? I might want Punk to win just because I'd rather not see Cody win 2 years in a row. But the last thing you want is the crowd to turn on Cody when you've come this far with his story and the fans have stuck with him for this long. For them to sour on him now would be a disaster. But it would make for a hell of a final too, right? Imagine Punk, Cody, Gunther, maybe even Brock Lesnar, put him in there as a surprise late entrant in the Rumble. That would be a hell of a Final Four.